Back here on the Locker Room Report, I'm Brady Beedon, once again joined by Coach Paul Winters. Coach, long road trip last weekend. Just how are you recovering from it? Because that's a trip to Rolla is a long one.
Yeah, it was quite long. We returned 5 o'clock in the morning. We just went back to work. Didn't bother going to sleep. I figure I'll sleep when I die.
Well, let's start with some of the positives from the game last week. Put up a school record for offensive yards. First half, Josh Kolka almost had 300 yards before he went down due to injury. Chase Churchill came in, made some nice plays. He missed some, but overall I thought he played well coming in relief. Quarterback play, have to be encouraged by that after last week.
Yeah, Josh was exceptional. I think that we missed a couple of extra passes that, just by a couple feet, that really would have put us over the top. But losing him hurt us, and Chase, he had thrown an extra point for 2 points in the week before, so it's not like he's not experienced at all. But that was a lot of pressure to put him under, and he came down, and actually, we were down on the 1 yard line at the end of the first half, and then he brings us back from an 11-point deficit in the fourth quarter. So he played well.
Running game was going pretty well. I believe you totaled over 200 yards, and if I remember correctly, that's the first time in over a decade that team had given up 200 yards rushing, not just through the air, but you have almost 700 yards of offense. Your ground game helped out a lot too.
Yeah, I didn't know that. They're a good defensive football team, and they're built to stop the run. As we played that game, their safeties were making a lot of hits in the run game. And as we watched that as coaches, we were like, well, if the safeties are making the hits, let's throw it over the top. So we were able to do that and get the safeties to play back a little bit more, and that helped the run game.
It did seem like they were almost daring you with a young quarterback to beat him over the top, and both Kolka and Chase made some exceptional throws. So, yeah, they made the right counters to that.
Yeah, exactly. And give credit to the offensive line, because we protect it well, but also to Trey Davis and Jesse Pruitt, who had, two of the best days in history.
Defensively, I thought in spurts they played really well, but obviously 51 points is never anything you want to give up. What do you want to see from your defense that has shown that at times they can be dominant, but was not as consistent as you would have liked last week?
Well, if you really break it down, defensively, we gave up 7 points in the first half. We had a punt blocked and we had a kickoff return. So defensively, we played really well the first half. As the game went on, especially as we got down to the overtime, they were just worn out. And it wasn't because of the number of plays, it was the heat. Offensively, we had close to 100 plays, so we had the ball for 38 minutes. But that was probably the most disappointing thing, the third and fourth quarter just not playing up to our level.
Bring in Saginaw Valley for the first of 2 games, which is something a little different. This one a non-conference. It seems like the past few years, this game earlier in the season, whoever wins this game usually rights the ship for their season, and whoever falls here early in the season kind of tails off and maybe doesn't have the season they were hoping for. How big is this game to get you going? I know it's not technically a GLIAC game, but it's against a GLIAC opponent.
Well, it's an important game for us. There's so many reasons it's important. We're at home. It's Saginaw, who's a rival, and it's a GLIAC opponent, and we're 0-3. So just trying to get ourselves, going in the right direction is important.
Saginaw Valley played really well offensively. I believe they forced 6 turnovers in their game against Ferris State. A long bus ride, but there's no time to rest. You're bringing in a good Saginaw team, and like you said, rivalry game. There's not going to be any love lost in this matchup.
Yeah, you've been in there. You know how it is. We're going to do everything we can to prepare, to get back to normal from the trip, but also to prepare for Saginaw. So there's, we're used to difficult, demanding situations. This is another demanding situation, and we have to overcome it.
You mentioned some guys that played well, Jesse Pruitt, some other receivers. Your offensive line played well. Who would you like to see play well against Saginaw Valley? Who do you think has the opportunity to step up against the Cardinals?
Well, I'd like to see Josh Kolka step up, but I'm not sure I'm going to have him or not. I think as you look at this game, the biggest area, the biggest need is our kicking game. We need to play better on special teams. We need to cover better. We need to protect our punter better. If that group steps up, I think the offense and defense is kind of taking care of itself.
So, I mean, you answered it a little bit there, but what are some other keys to a win against Saginaw Valley?
Play better on special teams. You know, Saginaw has a really, really strong run defense, so we have to be able to run the football against it. And they've had that for a couple years. And they're explosive on offense. They have the ability to make big plays and control the football. So our defense needs to step up and shut down the run and not make mistakes in the passing game. And then whoever plays quarterback for us has to play well.
All right, Coach, thank you. Good luck against Saginaw.
Thank you.
That was the Locker Room Report. For WDTK The Patriot, I'm Brady Beedon.